No, but when you say gaming lovers, I was actually, I meant our real life partners, spouses, whatever.
I know. I just said it because it sounds like goofy, like adult beef swelling.
You're my gaming lover. Because it's an issue we all face, isn't it? We're kind of all of us here in this room, and even Ryan, believe it or not, is in a relationship, and we have to. I shouldn't say that.
Ryan. And he was talking about sex.
If you're not here, if you can't make the podcast, that's what you get. Schedule your root canal for some other time.
Get your priorities straight, man.
Yeah.
Today's a lesson.
Yeah, no, we all to some degree have to deal with this. Let me just ask, Sean Elliott.
This is a topic I like to talk about.
Does your partner play games?
Yeah,
and or tolerate you playing games?
She does, but so basically, along stereotypical lines almost, where she's definitely she plays Bejeweled like crazy, Bonnie's Bookstore.
Girls love that stuff.
Right. All the PopCap games, big fiend for them, and then, Nintendo games with me, DS, WarioWare, and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Definitely none of the shooters. And the problem then is that since I play all these damn shooters, is they all look like the same game to her. Mm-hmm. So I could be playing, Red Orchestra 1 minute, Call of Duty the next, and in the course of an hour, literally go through it, Odd and Counter-Strike, Battlefield, and I'm always playing the same game.
To her.
And right. Mm-hmm. And when I come, when I bring home a game and I'm like, hey, this is for review, I'm writing a story on this, I have to play it. And it's a Battlefield expansion. It's like, she's like, don't quit lying to me. I know what you're up to.
You're just goofing off with the same old game.
So yeah, and it's tough because, you definitely, there's
kind of sad as she's sort of right.
Yeah. So that's
shooting
there.
Guys again.
But the other thing is too is it's I think that anyone that's in a relationship has got to deal with it, that there's going to be some kind of disparity between the commitment to the gaming, and it's like there are definitely times when I want to come home and play and get in TeamSpeak and just yell and goof off and clown, and then she comes in from the other room and it's like, what the hell are you doing? Even the whole notion
are you embarrassed?
And now mom comes in the room.
Yeah, I don't know. You know me. I'm a pretty immune to embarrassment, and I like to embarrass myself. So, but I'll just, I'll be on there talking in insane voices and stuff and harassing people.
You do that at home.
You actually hit on the one big out though that we all have here that your average gamer doesn't, right?
Yeah,
which is I'm doing this for review for work.
It's a double-edged sword though, because it's like when you definitely there will be times when you really are working. And at least
she'll think you're playing.
My girlfriend Melissa just doesn't buy it. She's like,
yeah.
Or it's just because what we do is so divorced from so many people's notions of work. Yeah, because for one, a lot of people just assume all we do is sit around and play games, and we know that we definitely don't do that.
Actually, we don't.
But in the cases when the awesome part, when we do get to play games, it doesn't seem like work to anyone. And it really isn't at the same time. But the bottom line is we have to do it.
That's why I walked by OPM today, Official PlayStation Magazine. I walked by Joe Rubicki's office. He's
playing
the
Guitar
executive
Hero
editor.
too.
Yeah, he's sitting back in his chair with the guitar from Guitar Hero.
That's cool.
Playing it, I'm like, I can't believe this is some guy's job.
Yeah, that's amazing. Or just like, when episode 1 came out, I just spent the day playing that. And
yeah, but that really was your job.
Yeah, and that's good. But
for me, it's kind of the there's a million things I could say, but one thing, just you saying about your girlfriend not buying it, sometimes what happens with my wife is the opposite, which is that if I tell her it's work, she's actually angry because she thinks I just work too much.
That's exactly what happens.
It's almost better if I say I'm just goofing off.
Yeah.
Because then she doesn't feel like, Ziff the man.
But then there's the other thing too.
There's no in between, because like our hobby is what we do. What we love doing is also our job.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. When you go home and you're like, I've been at work all day and I'm fiending to play some Battlefield 2, and she's like, what are you talking about? You just played games all day. And I was like, no, I didn't. I haven't played a game at work in like 2 weeks. You can hear the tone of voice I'm used to doing this.
Actually, I
haven't played a damn game at work in 2 weeks.
The beleaguered gamer.
I think you actually have mic'd my apartment, because that's the same exact conversation I have half the time.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore because we've had too many arguments. I can't walk in the door and go to a game.
Play some games.
Oh, and by the way, this was...
I have to pay attention to my wife and kid.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Jeez.
Yeah, this actually was going to be my column this month, but now I'm not going to do it. Thanks, guys.
You can still do it. I think this topic's pretty endless.
Yeah,
there's so much. There's so much good stuff. I mean, just thinking of it, I'm like.
Although the one thing I got to say though is like Amy, like when we first started dating, she was in denial. She basically said that she's not a gamer at all. She hated stuff. She played Myst when she was younger, and that was about it. And then I introduced her to Grim Fandango, and every once in a while, like I get my hands on a cool like an adventure game that she might like, and she starts playing it. And I introduced her to Guitar Hero, and she's hooked on that. So.
There is nothing I can do to get my wife into gaming.
That's
too bad.
The thing that I learned, at least with
nothing at all. You've
nothing.
I've tried all the goochers.
Everything you could think of to throw at me.
Wow. Like even she was immune to Bejeweled.
Immune to Bejeweled.
Wow.
Immune to Bookworm. Immune to
Bejeweled.
Brain Age.
The only thing I found that worked for me was just like, 'cause basically I would have the controller in my hand, and we'd do a puzzle game or an adventure game, and I'm like, Amy, boss me around. She knows how to do that, so.
My daughter totally gets it. She's
no, she's actually really cool.
Just
my wife also. My wife walks in.
I'm thinking of you guys doing role playing and her boss and being the boss. Dude, that's what I got scared about.
Ew.
Shit. The podcast takes a nasty turn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, back on track.
Yeah. Well, I'm lucky because my boyfriend is as into it as I am, if not more in a lot of cases.
That is very cool.
So I got
it's
a
like
good
Soul Calibur.
But do you have to like?
Yeah, pretty much. It's also dangerous.
Do you have to argue though over like the controller or the game or?
Sometimes WoW is kind of what we settled on as the default thing when we can't agree on like, well, do you want to play DOA? And like,
do you have two PCs set up?
Oh yeah.
Like, so you guys can play together.
He's at his desktop, and I'm usually at the laptop on the couch.
And do you play together?
Oh, yeah.
Will you play WoW together?
This kind of
that's
thing.
good.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
In fact, that's awesome.
Actually, I haven't tried that yet. I haven't tried to get her on MMOs yet. I'm afraid I might create a monster.
Yeah, I've done that now with my daughter. In fact, just today I got Egbert, my character, moved over to her server. So now we're going to play on the same server.
I've heard horror stories from friends who, were MMOing together, and then, like, they had different guilds. They got in different guilds or something, and then they, like, it ended in divorce.
Yeah.
Like, literally, that was the conclusion.
That is unreal.
I'm just like, I traced it backwards. I'm just like, they got divorced over that game.
Look at the story Love Bites in our current issue,
exactly.
It's like you get to the point where you're looking over each other's shoulder, at least some of the people in there, they're looking over each other's shoulder and seeing like, well, who are you talking to in game? Are they PMing you?
Who are you
Why don't they say all? Why don't they say all?
I wonder if there's a danger too of do you guys like what I would wonder about? Because in a way, my wife, and this is what she says, is like, well, somebody's got to run the household. And there's a little bit of truth to that if I'm just sitting on my ass all weekend in front of the PC. Working, I should say.
Yes.
Working to earn her money. That if two people are like, do you ever think like, man, we should get up and stop doing this all day?
Oh, yeah.
That kind of
We
stuff.
actually do, we do that, though. We make a point to, like this weekend was just beautiful.
Oh, yeah, you had to do that
I don't
this
think maybe played an hour of games.
I think the fundamental difference between your situation and ours is that like all of us in the room are aware of just like how completely geeked out this stuff gets. And like, and it's like for us, I'm assuming there's places you don't go, you don't even start to try to explain a joke because you realize how much context. It's like, it's going to take me all day to set this up. By the time I get to the punchline, she'll be like, why is that funny?
Yeah.
But you like, both of you are like, we're laughing at this and we know why it's funny. Like, but is it really funny? I don't know. I'm just imagining like, it would be weird.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys, or you guys are both intimately aware of like how far you're going down the rabbit hole when you guys are.
Oh yeah,
I'm jealous.
I mean, I would like playing it off. To
I am jealous. So I would like once in a while to be able to have. I mean, I do have that experience with my kid, but it's rough when you got someone in the house who's just like, "What you're doing is a waste of time."
And you're like, that's how you make your money.
Right. Yeah. I'm dissing my wife in public. This is bad for me. I love you, honey.
That's going to be rough, though, no matter I mean, because I've had that, too, and it's like, it's similar to the, like, what you do is not work. And I'm thinking not so much of when we're playing games, but say when we're, we have a rough week, a deadline, and we're basically, writing at home, writing over the weekend, editing, preparing stuff for the next issue at the same time. In those days, you at least, it's still very nice. Love it. I'd rather be doing it than, so many other things. But at the same time, it's kind of in line too. It's just anytime someone you love just summarily dismisses a big chunk of what you're investing yourself in.
This is my career here. And to put it into some context, I mean, first of all, she's European.
So she wants you to play Rayman.
right. No, but also that's nothing. She's
either that or a soccer
what I was really going to say was she's a teacher. Okay, she's a high school teacher. So she's got to deal with.
She's not using DDR to teach the kids to lose weight.
Yeah, what I'm doing, what I do is like the enemy of what she does.
Right.
You know, this is like why kids
this.
don't do their homework.
That's quite a dynamic relationship you've got there.
Yeah, we always say that she smartens them up and I dumb them down.
Yeah, it would be Judy Bloom or something else if it wasn't the games.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be Bratz.
What bugs me too is like every once in a while there is a game that I really think I'm like, this is the one. Like Katamari, I think, was one where I was like, this is so innovative and it's so cute and it's so friendly.
I knew better
Nothing.
on that. The controls
Her eyes just glaze. Well, not even to play it, but just to watch me play it. Just to acknowledge that there's something interesting happening here. I mean, the last thing she saw me play was Half-Life Episode 2 or Episode 1, and I was playing it and I was really into it. And it was like a good part of the story. And she walked by and like right then on the screen, there was, of course, something like horrible happening. Like I was using the gravity gun to like throw bricks at zombie heads.
Right.
Well, at least it wasn't a sin.
So she walked by that and she's like, "What is that?" Like in the most dismissive tone possible.
When you're not playing it, all you see is nothing but violence upon violence upon violence, and you don't see. I mean, now I got to go and defend what. Well, it's not just violence, but in the way that you're responding, you're like, "Whoa, did you see how that happened?" Or like, I got to figure out using the tools available to me how to get out of the situation. All they see is that if you're like watching a movie and it was like an endless clip of like highlights from like crusty old, like Puppet Master films and whatever, Trauma Studios.
Well, the scene was it was the part of the game where the antlions are spawning endlessly, so you have to use the gravity car to move the cars over to move the gravity gun, move the cars over there. I just spoiled one of the puzzles. Sorry, but anyway,
Alex is the one that says it like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, she does. I missed that.
She clubs you over the head with it. Like,
shit, she says that.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear it. I missed it. I thought I had to figure it out. But so my wife was like dissing the game because the zombies are attacking you, and I was actually trying to mount this defense. Actually, it's kind of a logic puzzle.
Exploding zombie heads.
Yeah, all the time I try to sit there and defend how gaming is evolving as an art form, and I'm sitting there playing Sin episodes for the review, and for opening scene, I'm staring at some digital boobs.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that is.
Well, there you go.
That would have been harsh. And then right after that,
she's in a bikini.
We can't drop the F-bomb on here, but anyway, as soon as that part, you get in the car.
At the corner,
that red line,
the
quarter of F and U. Yeah,
I actually
that and the TNA together would just
yeah.
James sometimes have a nasty habit of like shooting themselves in the foot, where you're just like, "See, this is really cool."
I should. I mean, I actually try to like sort of take. I mean, I do feel this way that like if the game you're playing is stupid or whatever, like that's actually okay.
Just say
the way we watch stupid TV,
that's exactly
or go to stupid movies or read stupid books. Like if this is just how you want to spend your time, I think that's okay.
Seriously, well, think of like if you had someone come up to you, if your wife came up to you and was trying to tell you that like, I don't know, Miss Congeniality is just amazing. I mean, it's just completely high art, you know. And she was absolutely sincere, and you had to listen to that. And she rented movies like it and its sequels like every week in and week out. And then that's kind of probably her perspective on what we do. It's like. That is if you're not telling her, hey, this is this is a guilty pleasure. I'm sorry, but like, in terms of perception, not the reality.
I'll do both. Sometimes I really do try to defend it because there are games you can defend as, strategy games or things like that. You can say this is actually using a significant part of my brain. There's other times where clearly you're just goofing off and wasting time.
Maybe you need to start simple with her. Start her on some Flash games like Torture Osama or something.
Always a good entry
Seriously,
point.
though, like Elf Bowling or something. I don't know.
Maybe something from a French perspective, since she's French.
Get her into, I don't know. I give up.
Yeah,
but all it takes is one. Like the fact that like if they play just one game, then even if the game content itself is completely different than what you're doing, the concept of like wanting to keep playing something, in the same medium, like saying, hey, I know that feeling where I want to go back and keep playing this and just do it again, even though I've done it the day before and the day before that,
Bookworm in Bonnie's bookstore might be good.
Maybe it just doesn't matter. Maybe it's okay,
Yeah, they're sweating it for nothing. Does she watch Oprah or anything like that? You can shoot back.
She definitely watches some dumb TV.
There you go. That's it.
And her, the way she'll say it is, well, I've been teaching all day, I've been working hard all day, and now I just want to turn my brain off and chill out.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
And there you go. There's the argument.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the end of it then.
Amen.
Well,
Amen.
how did this turn into a therapy session for me?
Okay, who needs
I
a
thought I was
hug?
asking you guys a question.
Well, you're part of it. We want to know.
Yeah, but now I feel
We're
bad.
worried for you now, man. Jeff, we think what you're doing is worthwhile. We're behind it.
I'm
We
good
support
enough.
you.
We
We're here
understand
to
it and
validate
support
you.
I have a good job because of it.
What would she say if she heard this podcast?
It wouldn't be good.
Really. Matter of
Say
fact, I'm
something that
deleting
makes
this.
it good right now. You have about 5 seconds.
I love you.
Love you, honey.
Isn't your gnome a warlock? Isn't that like the same thing?
No.
No.
Mage is not the same
Warlock
as
is a pet
warlock.
class, thank you.
Jeez.
You have a pet.
Noob. Wow.
Go back to Eve and
How
you're level
embarrassing.
20.
How embarrassing for you that you mixed up mage and warlock.
Seriously, dude. That's fucked up.
Yeah, this is why my wife wants me to get a new job. She hears conversations like this. Why did I marry this guy?
Does she listen to the podcast?
No.
Oh.
I don't think she even knows we have one.
Ryan, does your girlfriend listen to the podcast?
No.
Do you ban her from listening to it?
Does anybody here in this room have their significant other listen to the podcast? Anyone?
I could barely get her to play Guitar Hero. I have
No.
No. Really? Would you?
no.
Yeah.
She tunes me out over dinner.
Wah 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 wah.
Exactly.
Games. Wah 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 wah.
Did you night?
talking.
Whoa, did you night?
Whoa.